Hello everyone. Here I would like to discuss about the anatomical features of the ulna. So this is the ulna bone. It is one of the bone of our forearm. It is located on the medial aspect of the forearm. It is corresponding to the fibula, which is located in the lower limb. So this ulna, it is a long bone and it has upper end, shaft and the lower end. On the upper end, we have two notches and two processes. The first notch is this C-shaped notch, which is known as trochlear notch. And the second one is this radial notch. This radial notch is articulate with the radius, head of radius, and forms superior radioulnar joint. And this is the trochlear notch. It articulates with the trochlea of the humerus and forms humero-ulnar joint. There are two processes in this bone. One is this olecranon process, other is this coronoid process. The olecranon process has the superior surface, the anterior, the medial and the lateral surface. Also, it is possessing the posterior surface. Then we have the coronoid process. It has the superior, the anterior, the lateral surface and the medial surface. So this is your upper end. Now we come to the shaft. On the shaft we have three borders and three surfaces. One is the intraosseous border. This is the sharpest border. This is our intraosseous border. Then we have anterior border. This one is the anterior border extending above from the ulnar tuberosity. This is the roughened area which is highlighted. This is your ulnar tuberosity. So from here it is starting and it extends up to the styloid process of the ulna. So this is the anterior border. Then this is the posterior border extending from the posterior surface of the olecranon process. This is the posterior border. Then we have three surfaces on the shaft. First is the anterior surface, which is between the intraosseous border, that is the sharpest border, and the anterior border. So this is the anterior surface. Then we have the medial surface, which is between the posterior border and the anterior border. So this is the medial surface. Then we have the posterior surface between the intraosseous border, that is the sharpest border, and this posterior border. So this is the posterior surface. This posterior surface has been divided into two parts by an oblique line. This is the oblique line on the posterior surface. It is dividing the posterior surface into two parts, the upper part and this is the lower part. This lower part is again divided into medial and lateral parts by this vertical ridge. This is the vertical ridge and this divides the posterior lower part into the medial and the lateral surfaces. Then we come to the lower end of this bone. At the lower end we have this rounded head-like structure. This ball-like structure is known as head of the ulna and this small styloid process. Then between these two we have a notch on the posterior aspect. This notch is transmitting the tendon of extensor carpi ulnaris. This head articulates with the ulnar notch of radius and forms inferior radio-ulnar joint. So these are the anatomical features of the ulna. Now we come to the side determination of this bone. For side determination we have to keep this bone in its anatomical position. For this, the trochlear notch is directed forwards and the intraosseous border should lie on the lateral side because this is the lateral border also So this interosseous border is directed laterally and the styloid process lies medially. Then keep this bone in your forearm like this. Hold this bone in your forearm like this. So this is denoting the side. This is of right side. So this bone is of right side. So here we can see the side of this bone. In the next video, I will be come with the attachments of this bone. Till then, thank you.